Hi, welcome back to a video to help you searching for information on mental depression on eLibrary. So by now you've already watched the first video that shows you how to log into eLibrary and how to save information from eLibrary into your Google Drive. So this video is going to get you a little bit more information on which sources to pick if your topic is mental depression. If you are not choosing mental depression, don't watch this video. I went ahead and looked through all these sources for you, and I picked out the three I think might have something that you could use. So I will show you which ones they are, and then you can pause this video as you need and go ahead and find the information that I also found, okay? So the first thing you do is type in mental depression, or depression if you want to. Use the mental depression link and click on the More button, and you'll find the Dealing with Depression, the Depths of Depression article. Go ahead and save that to the Google Drive. Get the MLA citation from the bottom, and then paste it on the document inside your Google Drive, just like I showed you on the other video. Go ahead and pause this video and do that now. Okay, once you've done that, your document should look something like this. Dealing with the Depths of the Depression is in your Google Drive under ProQuest eLibrary folder. You've copied the citation, and here we go. If you've already read this article, you'll probably find a couple of things that fit into Edgar Allan Poe. So you have to read the entire thing to decide what that information is. And then my recommendation would be that you highlight that. So let's read this and find some things that we can highlight. Okay, I found something. Environmental factors, however, may play a role in depression. When combined with biochemical or genetic predisposition, life stressors such as relationship problems, financial difficulties, death of a loved one, or medical illness may cause the disease to manifest itself. Okay, I think that's important. We should highlight that. Okay, now we get to the list of symptoms diagnosing the disease. And that's really going to be where we probably find some things. Okay, it says that these are some symptoms. So, depressed mood. Well, do we know if Edgar Allan Poe had a depressed mood? Well, I didn't know Edgar Allan Poe, but I do know that his stories have kind of a depressing mood. So I'm going to go with that as something I could highlight. Let's see. Do I know that he had recurrent thoughts of death? Yes. We can tell that by his stories. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight that as something that would probably lead me to believe he probably had some symptoms of depression. From here on out, you get information about antidepressants and talking to people, treatments. Now that might be interesting to you personally, but we don't know if Edgar Allan Poe took medicine or saw a counselor or therapist. So that is not information that's going to be particularly helpful for me. So in this article, I really found 3 things to highlight. And that's good enough for our purposes. We're just doing some very general, basic overview type research. So that is enough for that source. If you're doing depression, make sure you have this article with these 3 things highlighted in your Google Drive. Okay, back to ProQuest eLibrary. So I'm looking around here and I'm trying to find something that might be helpful. I decided to click on books. If you do that also, just like I did, you're going to see Depression Complete Home Medical Guide, Lexile score 1000. Oh, okay. Lexile score 1000 means I'm probably going to be able to read it. So I go ahead and click on that. Then I scan through here and I see causes and symptoms, complications. Okay, it's not too long. It's got causes and symptoms. So I think I'm going to go ahead and save that one. So you do this too. So find Depression Complete Home Medical Guide, just like I showed you, and click the Save to Google Drive. Pause this video and do that now. Okay, now you're in your Google Drive and you have your article. Don't forget the citation. Pause the video and go back and get it if you forgot. And now you've got to read it and see if you can find any information that relates to Edgar Allan Poe. So you go ahead and read it and see if you can highlight things, and I will do that too. Okay, if you're back to the video, you probably read this article. So check out the things I found. You should find them too. Depression exists when feelings of unhappiness intensify and daily life becomes difficult. Okay, you know, I don't know if Edgar Allan Poe's daily life was difficult. I mean, I do know he lived a very impoverished life, so his life was difficult because he had no money. But I can tell there was some unhappiness going on in his stories based on his characters. So I'd probably have some unhappiness. Also intensify, if you think about that letter he wrote to his aunt. He had some intense emotions. He was saying that, you know, he didn't want to live and things like that. So we have some evidence there. It says a persistent sense of foreboding, which means a feeling that bad things are going to happen all the time, that sense, and it's repetitive thoughts. I mean, that guy thought about death a lot. So I would say that's foreboding, bad things happening, and it's repetitive because it happened in more than one story. It said that people with depression may misuse alcohol. Yeah, I believe that the video told us a little bit about him misusing alcohol and being drunk often. In the causes section, it says stressful life events, like a loss. Okay, yeah. Edgar Allan Poe, remember, experienced the loss of his first girlfriend, his mother, his adopted mother, his wife, and his biological father who abandoned him when he was a child. So yeah, definitely traumatic experiences here. The death of a parent, okay, we knew that when he was little. So we definitely have information about his life that matches up with traumatic experiences and loss. Symptoms. Now, loss of hope for the future. I mean, he definitely thought about his future being related to death. So I don't think death matches up with hope, so I could say that. Recurrent thoughts of death I already mentioned. Then we have complications, what can be done, treatments, all that stuff doesn't really fit. We don't know if he went to any treatment, so I'm not going to highlight anything there. So, again, if you're doing the depression topic, you need to have this article, Depression from the Complete Home Medical Guide, and the citation, plus the things I've shown you to highlight in your Google Drive. We're going to go get one more source. Okay, back to depression. So now I've got a book, I've got the overview from the eLibrary, and I also think maybe I'll try a website. So I went ahead and clicked websites. Depression in teens, no. Teen depression, no, no. Depression self-analysis, no. No, no, no. Nothing in here is like really helpful to me. I don't like any of these sources. So never mind. Nothing in there is really helping. What about newspapers? What about educate yourself about depression? Does this help us? Short short-tempered, easily frustrated, compounds the problem because of angry outbursts. Okay, I do remember in the video, talked about him being kind of critical. Oh, here's something. Being self-critical and critical of others. Okay, so this is good. I'm going to get this source, put it in my Google Drive, and grab the citation for it. You should do this too. So pause the video and educate yourself about depression from the Poughkeepsie Journal. Put that in your drive. Okay, here we are. Let's find some things to highlight. You go ahead and read it, and I'll read it too. One thing that you want to consider about research is finding things that you didn't know before. So in our other two sources, we didn't have this information about anger. So that's what I really chose to highlight from this particular source. It says anger up there in the symptoms, but it also said thoughts of dread connected to worst scenario outcomes. Yeah, worst scenario, like everybody dying. So that seemed pretty important. It leaves the individual short-tempered, easily frustrated, compounds the problem, because after the angry outburst, they tend to blame themselves. Okay, so I do think there's evidence that says he had some short temper or frustration. He was kind of mean to other people. Depression equals negativity, turns most of what you experience negative. I mean, I can't recall one single happy story where anything good happened in all the things we read. Being self-critical and critical of others is very common. If you remember from the video, they said he was a brutal critic of other people's work. So this pretty much is what I picked from this article. So you should look at this screen, pause if you need to, highlight the things I've highlighted in this article. Okay, that concludes our tutorial on taking information off the ProQuest eLibrary on depression, putting it in your Google Drive, and then highlighting the things that are most important. Don't forget your citations, and then the next step will be to get this all paraphrased.